Today we're going to be doing present unreal conditional. Present unreal conditional. We're going to understand why it is called present unreal conditional and what are my rules for this. So anytime we have present unreal conditional, I like to think about what are the possibilities for an event, right? A lot of people ask you, what do you do if you win the lottery? What do you do if you have 3 wishes, right? How do you answer that, right? Is it possible that you can win the lottery tomorrow? Possibly not, right? Is it real that you can get wishes? No, right? So that's why we're looking at unreal, right? Not real. So things that could not happen, but if they did, what would we do, right? So it's just a way of talking, a way that English speakers talk a lot of the times. And especially during conversations when they want to meet you or want to have a more in-depth conversation with you to find out what type of person you are. So let's look at some examples. Let's have a positive example. The most common one is if you have $1 million, right? So let's look at that. If you had $1 million. So we're going to start off with if I had $1 million, I would buy 5 cars. So here, let's look at this, right? Someone just asked you, what would you do if you had $1 million? This is the way I'm responding. So if is going to be my conditional clause. It is going to be my conditional clause, or you can think about it as my dependent clause. I, right, that's going to be my person, my subject. Had is my past tense verb. This is in past. And $1 million is going to be my object. So this is clause 1, right? I have my conditional clause with my subject, my past verb, and my object. I'm going to connect it with my next clause. I now have I, which is my subject or my person. Would, what is my main clause? This is my main clause. And now I have by. By is in present time. Present time. And 5 cars is my object. So I have, if I had $1 million, this first clause, you're always going to keep your conditional clause with your past verb. They're always going to stay the same. They're always going to stay together. Your conditional clause and your past verb. For this clause, your main clause is always going to have the present verb. Never past or future, always present verb. The same thing here. If I have my conditional clause, always past. Never present or future, always past. We can also look at negative statements. So if I have, if I wasn't a teacher, I might be an astronaut. You know the astronauts, the ones that go to space, right? So if I wasn't a teacher, I might be an astronaut. Is it possible that I might be an astronaut? Not really, right? Because I'm right now your teacher. So here I still have if as my conditional I have if, that is my conditional clause. I have I, which is my subject or my person. Wasn't, which is my negative, right? My negative past verb. Negative past verb. A teacher, which is my object. And I'm going to use a comma to connect the two clauses. I is my person. Might is my main clause. And now we have be an astronaut, which is, my, which is my main clause. Be, which is my present verb. And an astronaut, which is my object. So here I have, if I wasn't a teacher, I might be an astronaut. I only negate my past verb. If I wasn't, I can only negate my past verb. I do not negate my main clause. The same thing with would. I do not negate my main clause. For my main clauses, there should be 3, and that is going to be would, might, and could. Those are my 3. I can use them, right? I could also say, if I had $1 million, I could buy 5 cars. If I wasn't a teacher, I could be an astronaut. These 3 are my main clauses. These are my main clauses. Now, if I wanted to put if in the middle, right? If I wanted to have if where my comma is, I just have to remember that this clause always stays together. The clause is always going to stay together. The same thing with this clause. This clause stays together. It does not change. So if I want to put if in the middle instead of the comma, what's going to follow is the same clause that has it here. If I wasn't a teacher. And here, this clause will not go to the front. I might be an astronaut. I might be an astronaut if I wasn't a teacher. Here, I still have my main clause with my present verb. And here, I still have my conditional clause with my past verb. Again, this is my negative past verb, but it is still my past. They're always going to stay together. They're never going to separate. Now, for questions, let's look at the first one. So for question, I asked you, if you had $1 million, what would you do? That's exactly how you're going to write it. If you had $1 million, what would you do? Here, the what that you are looking at is this. This is your answer. Buy 5 cars. This is the what. So here you still have if, your conditional clause, you, which is your subject or your person, had, which is your past. See how my conditional clause and my past stay together? $1 million, which is my object. Again, comma. What is my auxiliary? What is my main clause. You is my person or subject. And do is my present verb. See how my main clause stays with my present verb? And most important part of a question is the question mark. So if you had $1 million, what would you do? I would buy 5 cars. If you weren't a teacher, what might you be? I might be an astronaut. So remember, the what is this. This is what you're looking for. And again, hopefully this was helpful for you. If you have any comments or questions, you can always contact us or leave a comment. And I hope to see you soon in class. Thank you.